Greetings and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. In this video, we are going to be doing some setup for our gameplay here in Purple Haze. This is, of course, from Phalanx, and it is a game that is part tactical war game and part RPG. And you have 9 missions in the base game. There are 4 expansions. And we're going to do as much of this as I feel like we can handle before you guys get bored and move on. At least 1 or maybe 2 missions at a minimum, probably, because this is for Solitaire Sunday, which is a kind of series, typically. It's not just a one-off like a lot of the other gameplay videos I do. So the plan was, rather than dive into gameplay, we were going to talk about how you set this up. So here on page 9, you have setup. And so you have to begin the campaign with mission 1, Crash. That is this booklet right here, right? We won't open it right now because I don't think you need to. So for subsequent missions, you take the next mission in numerical order from the last mission played. So obviously you go from mission 1 to mission 2. Real simple. So a mission is set up using or following these steps. You read the mission briefing, place the map and boards. Now I placed the boards a little differently than they did in the book, mainly for video purposes, because what they have here, we get to, where is that page? Here it is. So this is the page that shows you how they recommend setting it up, right? And you can see this is a game that has a fairly, I won't say it's a large footprint, because compared to, some of the maps that you get with some war games, this really isn't that big. But there's a lot going on. There's a lot of, kibbles and bits of stuff all around the board here. And you have your Marines there at the bottom. And you can see the cards are here in the middle, right? So there are cards that drive this game. And I'm going to set it up a little differently, because when I put this in the middle and this on the left, it was wider than what I could fit in my shot. I want the important things to be visible to you guys, the viewers. And that is, of course, this map, the battle map, and our track here. Then the cards can be, the Marines will probably be across here. And then I'll put the cards that we draw from up top. And then I'll leave all the markers off to the side, out of the shot, because those are less important in terms of just seeing a pile of markers there. So to set up here, as I said, I'm going to read you the mission briefing when we do the gameplay, which will be, if not next week, the week after. I have some travel coming up, so my schedule is a little crazy right now. So we would read the mission briefing, place the map and boards, place map markers, place board markers, read the mission special rules, prepare the combat board, create the encounter deck, prepare other cards and markers. Then you do the squad setup, then you begin the mission. So we're going to set up the mission, read the mission briefing. We already talked about that. Place the map and boards. Every mission will use the tracker board and combat board. Tracker board, combat board. So place these first, then place the relevant map next to the tracker board on the left. So I did look at the mission briefing. I didn't read the whole thing, but this is the board we're using. Then we will place our map markers. Take the indicated number of event markers with a white number on blue on the back. So that's these, okay? You can see it's got a book kind of on the one side and a number on the back. And place them on the map as indicated in the mission setup. All right, so like I said, I won't really read the briefing. Here's the brief, here's the intro, right? And then you have to pick your squad leader's motivation. This is why I didn't want to do this first. But you can see here, these are the things we're going to be placing, right? So we want to place the base in 87 north, 92 east. Okay. So this is the base marker. Whoops, that's not the base marker. This is the base marker. That's what happens when you grab something without looking. And so 87 north is here. 87 north, 92 east. Okay, so I'm sorry, 87 north is this way and 92 east. So 87 is the second row, and 92 is the third column. So the base goes here. There's the base. Then we place 1, 2, and 3 and flip them randomly in place. So that's, I have them numerically ordered. So these are 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to shake them up and keep them hopefully flat. And we're just going to put these on 87 north, 89 east. So that's here. And we'll put this one at 88 north, 90 east, 88 north, 90 east. And the third one goes 87 north, 89 east. Wait, that's the third. 90 north, 91 east. 90 and 91. So right there. Okay. And then last but not least, okay, 89, 89. So that is 89 and 89 right there. Okay. Now we go back to our main rule book. And I'm way past where I need to be. It should be on page 9. Okay. So we've done this. In mission 1, the placement of the squad marker only occurs after paragraph 00 is resolved, so it's not placed at this stage. Now, the name of this mission is Crash, so I'm assuming we're going to end up somewhere else on the map than the base, and we'll have to start from there. Okay, place board markers. So we're going to place the time, stamina, and threat markers on the appropriate tracks. So time. So here's time. I'm just going to put these on the track, but I'm not going to set the time yet. Does it say what time? 11? Yes, it does. Okay. So we start at 1100. So these tracks move around pretty easy. And the boards didn't really come out of the box flat. They got a little bend to them. And I haven't really tried to flatten them out. So they might look a little wonky and they might, push on it a little bit. You can see the top come up. So after we do the time, we do the stamina points, which is this guy. And they start with 15. And this is a squad level thing. And then the threat marker goes on 3. That's right here. Okay. Now you read the mission-specific rules. Prepare the combat board. Create the enemy markers pool. You will use these during combat. There are 4 types of enemy marker in the game: combat, fighter, specialist, and tactics. Do not include the artillery enemy tactics marker here. Set it aside. It is only added by certain events. Form these into separate piles. Flip face down combat, fighter, and tactic markers. These are the fighters. And I put I had a group of them that were not correct. So I'm just going to put this pile down here for now, right? Then we have these guys, which are the combat markers. That's these guys right here. We'll put them right there. And the tactics markers, except for the artillery. Right. Okay. So these are the tactic markers. Put them down there. Shuffle them and keep them near the playing area or place them in different opaque cups. All right. They're kind of shuffled, but there's a lot of these. So I will do that off map before I play. I just wanted to show them. We're not gonna waste your time waiting for me or pause and do it now. I'm gonna do it before we actually play. All right, separate out the specialist markers by type, elite. All right, so I can show you these as well. So you've got elite, leader, sniper, and RPD, which is a machine gun. Place them face up near the combat board by the pile of face down fighter markers. So this is the combat board. I actually put these over here, but I can move them above the board. Again, they'll be off camera, but that's not really a big deal, I don't think. So these are the specialist markers. You can see Got various types here. We've got the RPD. You got leaders, and you've got a machine gunner. And elite, leader, elite, machine gunner, the RPD, and the sniper, which I call the machine gunner, but he's actually a sniper. Okay, so we move on to the next page here. Marine activation markers. There are 2 identical sets of these. Place one of these sets green side up near the combat board. The other is placed next to the specialization cards. See below. Okay, so these are these guys right here. So you can see there are 2 of each one. And I'm going to put one of them up near the top like it says to do. So we have various, like this I think is the squad leader. This is the radio man. And we have rifleman. We have a medic. Specialist maybe. A scout. So these guys I'll put up here, and then I've got the other copies of them down here. Like it says, we'll put them with the Marine cards when we get those out. Okay, other markers. Line of sight. It's this guy, so you can go like this. See line of sight. Then there is soft and hard cover. This is a soft cover. This is a hard cover. Smoke markers, airstrike markers, and no aimed shot markers near the combat board. Also place the red hit point dice here. Okay, so I won't show you all those markers. I do have them. They're all ready to go. Create the encounter deck. In the game, there are 45 encounter cards, comprising 10 general cards, 4 mission-specific cards for missions 1 through 7, and 7 for mission 9, and mission 8 does not use encounter cards. So we're going to shuffle the general deck. So I have them right here. These are the general ones. And then these are the 4 mission 1 specific cards. So we're going to shuffle the encounter deck and then draw one face down and shuffle it into the mission specific. So these are the mission specific. We'll leave that there. I'm going to shuffle these other ones here. And then I'm going to randomly draw one and throw it on top there. And then I will shuffle again. Put all of these into one pile. Okay. I'll put those right there. So that's our encounter deck. Then in the unlikely event the encounter deck runs out of cards drawn in a mission, draw a random card from the general card deck, which I have off to the side, and I can do that. At the end of the mission, we take out that general card and any others that we used in the mission and add them back to the general cards, and they can be drawn again during a future mission. Try to avoid looking at the text on the cards, which I did not do. Then we're going to separate the other cards into the following decks to be placed near the playing area. So we have wound cards, which are these. Put them right here. Then we have condition cards, which are these right here. We'll put that right there. Then we have the boon cards, which are these right here. So you can see there's a decent amount of these, and you just kind of shuffle them up. I already shuffled them, but it doesn't hurt to kind of randomly shuffle them up again. I'll put those there. And then we have the Lucky Charm cards that do not need to be shuffled. There's only 5 of them. We'll put them right here. Lucky Horseshoe. Let's turn these over so that their iconography is showing the right direction. And then the weapon and gear cards. That would be these right here. You can see M16s and all kinds of goodies in here, right? So we'll put that to the side. It says they're not needed. You'll use them when you equip your squad. Other markers and dice. place them near the play area. So these are the red hit point dice that go near the battle area. So I'm just going to put them up top for now. And then we've got a bunch of other dice here. So we've got, so before we get into the further dice, we've got littered, which means they have to be put on a litter and carried, and then just walking wounded. These go near the tracking box, the tracking board, for use later on. Then we've got experience, boon, stress, and damage markers near the marine setup area. So I have all those, and the marine setup area is going to be in here. We'll hold off on that for the moment. Then we have some dice. So we have these dice here. Okay. And these are the dice you roll to check for threat level, I believe. Yes, that is what they are for. So I'm going to put them, I think, over here. Well, put them right there for now. And then we've got a whole bunch of dice here that you roll for various checks and try to match numbers and so on. And we'll get into the mechanics in a later video. We'll put that pile of dice there. We can sort them by color, maybe. That's probably what we should do. So we've got the 4 gold. We've got a bunch of white here and some purple. So they're all kind of grouped together by color, which is what it says to do. And then marine profile cards. Set aside the marine profile cards. And there are a lot of these as well. These are the marine profile cards. There's a whole bunch of them. So you have lots of different marines that you can have as characters in your game. And it says to separate out J. Happy Cannell's marine card. So let me find him. Is he like the last one? He is. He's on the bottom. This is this guy right here. Because he is, you cannot draw it as part of the standard replacement process, but it may enter play later in the campaign triggered by an event. So he cannot start with us. All right, so marine profile cards. This is for squad setup. You have 30 marine profile cards in Purple Haze. These set out each marine's unique ability and traits. And let's find Rabbit Warnock here. Actually, I'll show you in the rule book, which we already saw in the first look, but now you'll get to see it in action. So number 1 here is his name, of course. And then 2 is his box for his ID marker, which would be like, it's just a number, I think. And then we have 3 is his traits. So over here, 4 stress and damage. That's up top. That's his limits or thresholds. 5 is his load capacity right here. 6 is his conditions track. So as he picks up conditions, they would go in here. 7 is his wounds track, operates similarly. 8 is his unique ability. So it's right in here. 9 is the box for KIA, evac marine ID marker. Okay, each marine's unique ability is unique and augments his or the squad's performance in some way, either during set up the mission or R&R. Some are once per mission, and in which case have a space for a red cube to note when they have been used. All right, and the ID and activation markers. So this is the ID, which is just a die face, and then the activation markers. All right, because these have a die face on them as well. And then you have, these markers have 3 uses: to determine which marine or marines are affected by certain events, encounters in combat, to note if a marine has been activated during combat, to track the position of each marine on the combat board, and the amount of soft cover they have. Then we have the specializations. So you have squad leader, right, who is the leader of the squad, makes sense. His key trait is charisma. And you have your radio operator, the man carrying the all-important radio, a comms expert whose specialist skills allow him to call in artillery or airstrikes, pretty important. His key traits: intelligence. The infantryman, the man carrying and firing the M60 machine gun. His specialist skills generally relate to combat and survivability. His key trait is survivability. The scout, the scout's pathfinder and sharpshooter. The squad's pathfinder and sharpshooter, rather. His specialist skills relate to squad movement and make him an expert sniper. Key traits: perception and intelligence. And then the engineer, the explosive and technical expert. He's the only Marine that can use the M79 grenade launcher and the M2 flamethrower. He's got 2 key traits. And then the corpsman, squad's medic. His specialist skills generally relate to first aid and reducing damage and stress in the squad. His key trait is intelligence. All right, so for setting up our squad, we also have a specialization card. I guess we should talk about that first. So here we have squad leader 1, so basic, and then you have squad leader 2 on the other side, then 3, then 4, right? Then you have radio operator, infantryman, scout, engineer, corpsman, and a fire support card. So those are the specialization cards, and it'll tell you kind of what they get at each level. That kind of, in a way, reminds me a little bit of like the Leader series from Phalanx Games, where you can have your crew, which are typically air crew, but there's also the tank leader games and the naval ones as well. But you can have them level up and improve their statistics as you play. So at the start of the campaign, the first thing you need to do is determine your starting 6 Marines and which Marine will have which specialization. So I was going to kind of do this randomly, but let's see what we get. So I'm going to just pull something out here from the middle. And we have Fluke. Okay, so we'll put Fluke down. Right, and he'll be in that spot right at the moment, but not necessarily going to stay there. Now let's draw another one. Let me shuffle these around a little bit, and I'm going to draw the bottom one. Got Donut T. Hurley. Okay, then we'll shuffle again, and pull the next bottom one, and it's Rabbit, who is our example, L. Warnock. And we'll go a little bit more and pull another one, and it is Geek, J.N. Raiden. And one more, or 2 more to go. And we'll take this guy right out of here. Poster Boy, P. Ham. And I'm hoping that some of these guys have good intelligence and stuff so they can be the squad leader. Last Chance, Hopper, D. Ackesley. Okay, so those are our 6 Marines that we will be using, right? And so we have to assign the specializations. So looking at the Marines' stats here. Okay, so to help with the identification of this, let's look at our iconography chart here. So here you have Marines and specializations, so damage and stress, they're right at the top. Then we have survivability, willpower, charisma, intelligence, perception, first aid, right? So we're looking for intelligence for our squad leader. So looking at that, Fluke is a 3, Donut is a 4. That's the highest, I think. Geek is also a 4. And so is Hopper. Okay, so we have some choices there. So we know it's going to be this guy, or this guy. Right, so it won't be one of these 3. I might have to tighten this up a little bit. And I might have to rearrange some of this other stuff as well to try and make it fit. So looking at their other stats, so charisma, actually that's the wrong one, it's Hurley. Oh wait, no, sorry. Oops, I got my Marines mixed up. So Donut is a 3/3 he's a 3 in charisma and a 3 in willpower. He's a 3 in survivability, a 2 in perception, and a 12 in what he can carry. So so we'll put him here, and then we've got 3, 4, 2. His willpower is only a 2. So his weakest area is willpower, but he's good at perception, which might make him a good scout. And then we've got Hopper here, who's got a 2 in charisma, and he's got a 4 in survivability. So we're gonna say that Donut is our squad leader. So our squad leader, I'm gonna set him up right here. Okay, for now. So he gets the 1, and he's our squad leader. So this would be his specialization card, and then he gets this squad leader 1, basic. Okay, so next we want our radio operator. So I think for the radio operator, the key there is also intelligence, if I remember correctly. All right, I screwed that up. The key for the squad leader is actually charisma. So let's go with Poster Boy here, whose survivability is only a 2, so that's not great, but he can be our squad leader. And we'll take Donut, and Donut can be our radio man. Okay, I'm trying not to overthink this too much. It's not like it's not like you got to pick your man exactly in Vietnam. So we'll do that, and then next is infantryman, and we want survivability, which is this guy right here. But he's a 4, so it might end up being. So we have it between Warnock and Hopper. Hopper's other good trait is intelligence. And what's his perception? Perception's a 3. His is a 2. Okay, so Hopper will be our scout, which means Warnock gets elected as our infantryman. Okay, and then we've got this and this. Okay, next up is the scout. So we just said that the scout was going to be Hopper. Put him there. He gets the 4. And he gets this. Go with it. Okay, and then we have our engineer. And they need survivability and intelligence. Well, we know he's got survivability. He's got good intelligence and pretty decent survivability. So Geek will be our engineer, which leaves Fluke to be the corpsman. And theirs is also intelligence, and his intelligence isn't terrible. It's a 3. So it's not perfect. But Geek is our engineer, and I know they're off camera. I'm going to rearrange things before we actually start playing. All right. So that sets that up. The unique abilities, the specializations. Okay. So your first mission, assigning specializations and a motivation. I'm going to save that for the first mission video, where I'll clean this up a little bit, rearrange, probably move these cards down to the bottom. So, I mean, you don't really necessarily need to see the card deck on camera. I'll probably move 2 of my Marines up here and then have the other 4 where they are right now. That way all 6 Marines are shown and visible here, and we have room to, put markers on their cards and everything like that. So the video, I didn't want it to be super long. It's about a half hour, so that's okay. I was hoping for a little less, but I tend to ramble. But hopefully this will give you a sense of how long it might take to set up. And of course, this is the first time, and I'm explaining things and so on and so forth. So it's longer than it probably would be in practice once we get, beyond the first mission, your first time playing, etc. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, you know where to put them in the old comment section, and I'll do my best to reply as soon as I can. But other than that, I guess we are done here. So look for the first playthrough for Mission 1, Crash, probably in a week, possibly in 2 weeks, depending again on my travel schedule. Work has me hopping lately. So that's, someone's got to pay the bills, I guess, right? I sure can't make a living doing this. I wish I could. But anyway, I'm done. This is Joe. This is the Hexed Encounter channel. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.